Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we are solving a Ferris wheel. I don't know if you can really solve a Ferris wheel, but that's what we're doing today. You've got Sleuth up on a balcony somewhere up high, staring at the Ferris wheel, somehow as if that's the mystery that we need to be solving to unravel whatever crime he's investigating this particular time. Well, hopefully it's nothing sinister as we take a look at the actual puzzle. Let's bring it up. We've got RENBAN Ferris Wheel by Will Power. And as always, these absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible puzzles from Will Power where you can very clearly see the Ferris wheel, sort of the spoke in the middle, I guess turning it all round. Essentially, these are probably like the cabins or carriages that are in there. In these purples / grey cells. Maybe the grey cells are almost like feet for it. You never know. Well, and we're even spoiled here today. We've actually got, wow, 8 digits in the grid. That's incredible. We haven't seen those in a while. So what do we have in terms of rule sets? We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Look at that, highlighting a different box for a change. We also have RENBAN lines. So numbers on orange and purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. The 3 lowest chairs on the grid, so these are chairs or cabins, are grey and do not meet this requirement. So what does this all mean? In essence, this orange line, which is actually 9 cells long, is the digits 1 to 9. It's almost like an extra region or box, basically, just on the line. And you're going to have all of the digits 1 to 9 on there with no repeats. I'm guessing this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, same again. Except these purple lines are 3. And you know they're consecutive because we've got white KROPKI dots. We'll get onto that in a second. But essentially, if this is a 1, for example, this would be a 2 and 3. As long as you've got 3 digits that are consecutive, they don't have to be in this order. It just happens to be with the KROPKI dots, and there's 3 here. Let's take a different example. This would be another absolutely valid solve, for example, with the 1, 2, 3 example. So that's RENBAN lines. Killer cages. Numbers in cages sum to their number in the top left corner of the cage. The 18 and 21 are duplicated in the respective cages because the orange line can obscure them in some puzzle formats. So that's the 21 cage. I don't know where that's the 18 cage. So let's pick this 18 cage as an example. And essentially, it's a cage that's outlined with this dashed line. You can see that highlighting all of these cells, 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. And essentially, the sum of these 4 cells must add up to the value that's in the top left corner, which is 18. So what would be a valid fill of this, for example? This could be 9, 2, 3, and 4. That would be totally fine. That would add up to 18. Okay. So killer cages is done. KROPKI pairs. So numbers with a white dot between them are consecutive, and not all possible dots are given. There is a however, which we'll come back to in a second. So I mentioned earlier when I was looking at the 1, 2, 3 in here, is that these 2 cells are essentially saying that they are consecutive. Let's pick a different 2 cells that have nothing to do with RENBANs. Essentially, if this was a 1, this would have to be a 2 because that's the only consecutive digit. If that was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 because it needs to be consecutive with the 2. Now, it goes on, however, to say, however, all the possible dots between chair cells are given. That's quite interesting. So all of these cells, I'm going to have to try and remember this rule, because it's also a 3-cell RENBAN, and it has an implication I'm not necessarily going to discuss right now. But essentially what it's saying is these 2 cells are not consecutive, because that's the negative constraint. All the white KROPKI dots on the chairs are given. And I'm sorry, let me pause here for a second because my dog wants to get out of the office. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay. That's all the rules we have today. If you don't think you're going to get sick riding on this RENBAN wheel, or I guess being up there in the heights with Sleuth staring at it from some sort of balcony, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. So when I look at this puzzle, I think there is really only one place I can think of to start, and that's the 6 cage. Because that is 1, 2, 3. That's the only way to make 6 in 3 cells. 26 is actually relatively tricky. You see, it says all possible dots between chair cells are given, but I don't know if necessarily across chairs is true or not. So I'm not going to make that assumption that these 2 cells are not consecutive. I'm going to try and solve it without it. So let's have a think about this actually. So we've got an 8 up here, no 8's there. 8 has to be in here. An 8 on a RENBAN line. So if I have an 8 in here, that's 7, 9, and it breaks. If I have an 8 in here, that's 7, that's 6, kind of works. Except when I think about the fact that we've got white KROPKI dots all the way up the column, essentially there is an 8-9 pair, there is a 6-7 pair, and then there's a 4-5 pair. And I think the only way I can actually make 26 in here is that one of these is 4-5, the other one is 8-9, and then the 6-7 is up here. I think anything else will not add up to 26. And any different combo that is not these pairs would break one of these white KROPKI pairs. So yeah, one of these is 8-9. So if that's the 8, then I would break the 9 because it's in the box. That's got to be the 8. That's got to be the 9. This has to be the 4-5. This 5 tells us the order. That's the 5. That's the 4. That's the 3. Remember, this is still a RENBAN line. 7. And now this is a 6-7 pair. That's column 1. Kind of pretty much done at this point. Now, I did say there was something that I just sort of noticed about these lines. The fact that the white KROPKI dot is given means that essentially, when you think about 3 consecutive digits, one of them has to be in the center. Now, if the white KROPKI dots are pointing towards kind of the corner of the chair, then we know that the center is in here. However, the fact that we don't have a white KROPKI dot kind of pointing this way, we know that the center is not there. I think I can even take this a step further. So let's imagine that this is, I don't know, a 1, 2, 3 triplet. So that can't be the 2, otherwise we'd need a KROPKI dot this way. And if that's the 2, then this would break this white KROPKI dot. So I think what this means is this would be the 2, this would be the 1-3 pair. Essentially, the center would be the one on the edge away from the white KROPKI dot. And then the center is here, the center is there, the center is here. However, these are not RENBAN lines, so the gray cells don't necessarily have the same connotations. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's see, what else can we think about? 6, staring into box 4. That's got to be the 6. That's a 1-2 pair. 8 has got to be down here. We've got 2 8s. 9 has got to be down here. We've got 2 9s. 6 has got to be down here. We've got 2 6s. So this is 6, 8, 9. Therefore, this is 4, 7, 5. Clearly, that can't be the 9. Otherwise, the 8 would have to be here. And this won't be the 4 because, 6 and 8 is too far away. Looking up the column, I have in here 1, 2, and 3. The irony The irony here. So this is either 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3. And the reason I say it's 2, 3, 4, we know that these cells are all on a RENBAN line, they're consecutive. Now, if it's 2, 3, 4, well, I haven't got a 4 in here. The 4 is down there in this column. It'd have to be in here, breaking box 2. So this is not a 2, 3, 4 run. This is a 1, 2, 3 run. The irony. And we now know that this is not the 2, and this is not the 2. This is the 2. That's a 1, 3 pair. 1, 3 pair is looking down here. That's a 2, that's a 1. We must know what this is now. This is 2, 4, and 5. So that's not a 2. That's not a 4. Not actually sure I know what this is. Oh yeah, I do, of course. I've got 13 in an 18 cage. That's a 5. That's a 4. That's a 2. Lovely. Right, where to next? Maybe I should just, rather than be quiet here for a second, let me just vocalize what I'm thinking. So I'm just sort of almost like immediately dismissing all the killer cages as the next step. They're just too many unknowns. And they're not, this maybe is a helpful one. For example, I know it could be 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4. And I've got all of these in a column. But I think if I pencil mark this, I still have all 3 options are valid. And it'll just be a mess. And then a 21 is not helpful. These are not RENBANs. So, orange RENBANs maybe? Yeah, orange RENBANs. Let's think about this digit here. So, it's not on here. We haven't pencil marked it on these 3 cells. Clearly, can't be in there. And can't be in there because of Sudoku. The only place the 2 can be is in here. And we know that this is kind of a RENBAN line with this being the center. So clearly it's not 2, 1, 0. This is 2, 3, 4. Got a 5 in here in an 18 case. These 2 must be 13. It's not 9, 4. It could be 8, 5. That is a valid fill. And it could be 6, 7, I'm going to say. Although I am going to keep in mind these RENBAN lines. So if this is, yeah, I'm fairly sure it can't be a 7. It could be actually a 7. 7, 6, 5. That's a valid fill. 6, it can't go up. 7, actually it can. 6, 7, 8. And then can it go 5, 6, 7? Incredibly, yes. How did I not end up with a 6 in here? So 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5. I think it's just because I've got this 8, 9 pair in here, preventing me from going in certain directions. So I can't do, for example, well, this has to be the center. So it's either 5, 6, 7, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6. That's fine. I just don't get why this is so different. Why is there no 6 in here? It would be 6, 7, yeah, 8 breaking. And 6, 5, 4 would force a 9 in here, which is not available. Now, the reason this is an 8, but not in here, is obviously, again, this 8. Okay, so that's correct. Sorry, it's just curiosity got the best of me. This cell here, which is clearly not on these 3 cells, not on here, we haven't pencil marked it, means that there is another 1, 3 somewhere in here. So we've got 4, and I need to get to 18. So that's a remainder of 14. It's either 5, 9, no 5s, or 6, 8. So there is a 6 and an 8 in here. No 6 there. And 1, 3. I'm actually going to rewrite this because that's quite messy. No 6 there. Fairly sure no 1 here. 1, 2 breaks. 3 needs a 2 or a 4, also breaks. That's an 8. Not 8. And this can't be the center. This is the center, so this is a 7-9 pair. Therefore, that's a 6, that's a 7. We know that this is, there are neither 8s or 6s in here, so no 8s. Which I'm pretty sure will remove an option from there, if I think clearly enough about it. Because it's either 5, 6, 7 or 7, 6, 5. I don't think I can have a 6 in here anymore. Yeah. I mean, I can't either because I've already put it on the RENBAN line. So this is a 5, 7 pair. The 6 is the only thing that would join them both. So this 7, 9 is staring at this. This is a 5. This is a 7. The 7 bounces back to get me a 6 in here to get to 13, plus the 5 to get to 18. Lovely. And then we're left with, I'm going to say 2, 4, 9. Not 2, not 4. There's definitely a 4 in here. If I think about that for a second. So if it's 2, 4, that's a 6, and I need an 8 in here, which is unfortunately possible. And then 4, 9 would be 13, and I need a 1 in here, which is again possible. Then to finish the row, it's 1, 3, 8. To finish the box, I need either a 3 or a 5. No 3s, that's a 5. And to finish this off, I need 1, 3 or 6, except I don't have a 6 in the row. 1, 3 in here, that's a 1, 3, 8 triplet, that's a 2, 4, 9 triplet. All looks good to me. Kind of surprised this doesn't resolve, and that incredibly there's still options. So this RENBAN, remember this is the center, which means it's adjacent to the 6. So this is either 5 or 7, and it's going essentially 5 or 4, 5, 6, or 8, 7, 6. I've still got a 5 in the column. If I put a 5 in here, I'd need a 10 there. Which would be 6, 4, which is not possible. 2, 8, which for the moment looks possible. I'll come back to this. It's more restricted than you might think. Here is why it's not a 5. I kind of forgot the fact that there is another RENBAN line here. So imagine that's a 5. Now tell me, where would I put a 5 on this 9-cell RENBAN line? It's not here. It's not there. It's not there because, we've not pencil marked it. We've got a 5 in the column. That becomes a 7. And then look at this 5. It sees all of these cells. So that's not a 5. That's the 5. And to finish the column, I've got an incredible number of options in here. 1, 4, 8, 9. I'm going to leave it and have a think about box 5 probably next, or box 6, since they're fairly complete. Such as this 9, it's up here, staring at this 7, 9 pair. That's 7, that's 9. What else do I know? 2s, not in there. It's in here. In fact, I can actually place the 2. So I need 1, 8, 9. This is 1 or 8. This is 8 or 9, and this is 1 or 9. I'm left with a 7 for sure in here with a 1 or 8. I need 8, 9 to complete the row. I need a 5. This 5 tells me the order. There's a 5 in here with another 1, 9. Kind of pretty frustrating. Okay. Doesn't resolve. Really doesn't look like it. The 7 maybe next. I mean, let's have a look at this triplet for a second. These 3 cells. This is either a 1, a 4, or a 7. It's clearly not a 7 in a 7-cell cage because you can't join it with a 0. So this 1 would be joined with a 6, possible. This 4 would be joined with a 3, also still possible. Yeah, this is not the way to go about it. 1, 3, 6. Got a triplet here. 1, 3, and 6. That's an 8. Gives me the 9, the 1, the 9, the 8. This is now a 1, 7 pair. And then therefore I'm left with a pair here because I've got a 1, 3, 6 triplet. It is 9 and 5, I'm going to say. Yep. This 5 tells me the order. That's the 5. That's the 9. That's the 7. These are not 7s anymore. Can take it a step further. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's not 4. That's not 7. Can probably do the 21 cage now. That's 12. Leaving me with 7 again and another 1, 4 pair. That's another 3, 6. 2 1, 4 pairs means that's not a 1. That's a 7. I'm sure I know what these 2 now are. This is 2 and 8. Yep. This 1 removes the 1 in here. This is still valid. This is not a 9. This 5 actually really helpful. 7, 8, 1. Clearly need the 4 and 9s. That's a 9. That's a 4. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's an 8. Yeah, this is sort of unraveling all now. That's not a 1. That's the 1. 3, 6 pairs again. Oh, interesting. Yep. Look at this. Have I broken it? 12. How did I do 12? Oh dear. Plus 7 to get 21. Dear oh dear. I may have to rewind this a bit. Or let me just first off correct this cell and just see how much damage I've done. So I needed to get to 9. So this would have been either a 1 with an 8 or a 4 with a 5. If I put an 8, obviously I've broken these 2 cells. I'm going to just hope I haven't done that much damage. And just see how this unwinds. Means I've got a 2 and a 6. If I'm lucky, this is 6 and 8. This would force a 9 in here. That's not 3. That's not 1. Maybe. Take a look at this RENBAN. Only missing digit is a 2, which can go only in here. 6, 1, not 1. We need a 7 in here again. These 7s that just keep appearing everywhere. Actually, we can do a bit better here. 1, 7. We know what this cell is. 4, I'm going to say. And therefore, that's a 3 to get it to 7. That's a 2. That's a 3. Incredibly, another 6, 8. Therefore, that's the 6 because we've got an 8 in the box. That's an 8. Oops, excuse me. We had an 8 for a while already. That's a 6. What do we have in here? 9. Yeah, looks good. I'm sort of approaching with extreme caution now because of this initial mess that I've made. So it kind of seems like somehow I didn't use that logic that much aside from just filling out the box. Very lucky. This is either 1 or 3. That 3 tells us the order. That's a 1. I've not made any mistakes and my awful arithmetic hasn't caused any issues. That's a 6, and it actually looks like the correct solve. Incredibly. Wow. I think I got fairly lucky there. Now, I didn't have to do a lot of things, but it looks all correct. I'm going to just do a quick double check that I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fairly sure the top one is correct. That was pencil marked at the very beginning. Yeah, 987, 543, 76, 12, 786, 432, 765, 789, 231. That's all looking correct. That is 18. That is 26. That is 6. That's 12, 13, 21. That's 7, 15. That's 9, 11, 18. And this is 10, 14. So, yeah, I got very lucky with this cell not causing more of a damage. It looks all correct to me. And I'm fairly confident if I've got anything wrong, that there will be plenty of comments about it, and I'll probably have to correct the video again. Well, apologies for that kind of messy solve, Will, but it's another incredible puzzle from you, sir. Please keep up these phenomenal puzzles, these fantastic puzzles coming. Really look forward to them. And I hope that you guys enjoyed today's puzzle and today's video. And I'll see you back in the next one. Bye for now.